Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Texas on tap. Hello, producer Kyle. How's it going? You are in a different location,
I
different
am.
background.
Yeah, but let's not talk about that. I want to talk about your shirt. That's freaking
Oh,
awesome.
yes. Okay, so this is like, you know how like at school you have Spirit Day? So this is Trent Cowie Spirit Day. And first of all, like we're gonna talk about his new single, but I absolutely love this shirt. It's like I bought the shirt to help support Trent, and man, I'm so excited. We're gonna talk about that new single, and he
hmm
blew me away on it. I'm so proud of him. You know how important he is to us here on the podcast, and he's just like a adopted family to me.
hmm And one other thing before we jump into music, very big news for us. Today is episode 300 of Texas
What?
Toast Podcast. Isn't that crazy?
Seriously? That
Jesus,
is crazy.
300 podcasts, man. And coming up on 3 years, we've got our big birthday show in March. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the episode, but let's go ahead and jump into some tunes.
Okay, you go ahead since we're talking about Trent.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to save that one for next. We're going to start with
Okay.
my new friend Garrison Nunn. And for anybody who doesn't know who Garrison is, I met him recently whenever we did the biggest Texas Fest Battle of the Bands out at Do-Si-Do, and Garrison won. So he's going to be playing the festival. He dropped a new one to streaming today, and it's called "Used to Be." Man, his voice is very, very, very unique, and that's what stood out to me. They put on a great show. His band was awesome, but this song is just like the rest of his tunes, just so genuine. It doesn't feel like he's trying to do anything or be someone, or it's just like he's telling this story that he either lived or dreamed up. I'm not sure, but it's just something different about the song than kind of anything I think I've heard before. It just feels so raw. He says it's about being stuck in a relationship but sticking around because you think things are going to get better, or maybe you convince yourself that they're going to. Um, and it's just heavy, genuine, powerful,
It's
super strong hook.
Yes, and it gets very heavy with the lyrics as well. I mean, like I was just it's one of those songs that just draws you in from the beginning all the way to the end. But for instance, he talks about drinking my medication, he could punch the walls till he bleeds. And it's like then there's one part where it's like then it talks about her turning into someone or something, and he knows he needs to let go, and then that harmonica comes in
Yeah.
and it just sets the whole tone for the song. And at that point of the song, there's just so many twists and turns in this song, so it's definitely worth a listen and a download. Excellent song.
Yep, good stuff, Garrison. And then let's kick the tap room doors open. Why not? We're here. Trent Cowie, favorite little habit. I was honestly expecting a hard rock song from these dudes. I know that that's probably not what I should be saying right away, but I told Trent this. There's like based on the clips I've been seeing from the shows and stuff, and it set me up to be surprised, which is one awesome, but also God, it's just so beautiful. I texted him and told him this first minute of the song is outstanding. It's so beautiful. It's this steady grow, like,
Yes, yes.
dynamic build the whole song. It gets heavier and heavier, but his voice sounds so incredible. There's that line, I've tried smokes and I've tried bourbon, I've tried all those
Mhm.
other things, and that's been stuck in my head since I heard it. For something about that lyric line is just outstanding. I have a feeling
Well,
that this song is kind of like a sort of a warm up for what's to come from this album.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
One of the parts that stood out to me is when he talks about heading to Austin and says he loves her and he's never said that before, and he's referencing the light, and then the light on it burns out, and then that's where they pick up the music right there, even to
Yep.
more momentum of the song. It's like the whole thing is just so gracefully, like I don't even know why I'm using that word, but it's just
Yeah.
there's so much to it and it just keeps you going. And I like how it starts out, so pure and simple, and then they, like you said, build a little bit more momentum, and then they get to the part about the lights dimmed and then pick it up. So and
Yep.
his voice is amazing, and his style and just the whole swagger about the song. So I'm so happy and excited for
hmm
Trent. We've been waiting for this.
Yep, we have. Absolutely. It's Trent's time.
Okay, we're gonna leave the tap room door open. Sarah Hobbs has a new radio single out. It's a great one. You're gonna enjoy this one. It's called Lessons I'll Never Learn. So there's a new radio release from Sarah Hobbs, Lessons I'll Never Learn, and it was actually written by Heather Little. She was the writer
Oh,
on
wow.
that, and
Cool.
Sarah recorded at Rosewood, but it's that oil and water relationship. I love some of the lyrics about never going to work, keep going back. This is it. You love to hate it and you hate to love it. That's kind of like the gist you get from the song. So
Right.
sometimes we'll just never learn that lesson. It's a lesson that we'll never learn. So
Yeah.
great one from Sarah, and her voice is always she's so beautiful, and so happy to hear her back on the radio again. So good. I saw where oh, well, that's another thing we'll talk about. the girls. Anyway, okay, so now let's move on to the next radio release that's going to be hitting Texas radio shortly next week. Jaret Reddick has a new single out, and it's called Lone Stars. And it's like, we'll always, well, I guess it starts out with it's kind of like loving each other. And as long as we're together, we'll never be lone stars. And then he makes a lot of reference to the Lone Star, as in the state being
Yeah.
born under the Lone Stars and Lone Star State. But I like how he picks it up in there and talks about border town and tequila and the fireflies and starry nights, and kind of sets the setting on that. And his voice and the whole production mix on the song is so good. So it's a great catchy tune. Jaret Reddick, out to radio, called Lone Stars.
What was the lyric? He said, "Will always be, but will also kind of maybe never
I
be."
have it. It's always be, but never really be.
Never really be. There we go. Yeah, I like
That's a
it.
Jaret. That's a Jaret for you. I
Hmm.
love him. Big
Speak,
brother Jaret.
Speaking of Jaret, we haven't announced this yet publicly, but I'll go ahead and say it here. I'm going to be opening it up for Jaret with the band in Burleson, Texas, at a place called Oscars on April 25th. So if you guys are in the Dallas area, come see me and Jaret. And then before we move into news and all the cool stuff going on this week, we'll talk about our friends at More Than Music Creations. And that kind of ties in with our birthday show we've got coming up March 16th. So I'll kind of combine these two things. But there's still a few tickets left if you guys want to come out. I'm playing. We've got Paige Lewis. We've got Charlie McCabe. Helen's got all kinds of cool stuff planned up her sleeves. We've got a couple giveaways, including some More Than Music Creations giveaways. And I actually just got a text right before we jumped on from Michaela of something that we're going to be giving away. And I won't spoil it, but I'll say it's a one-of-a-kind thing. The only place you'll ever be able to get it is at this show on March 16th at Do-Si-Do. Breakfast, whiskey, whatever, in the Woodlands.
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah. So come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun. More Than Music Creations. You can find them online, Instagram. Just look up More Than Music Creations. Learn all about what they're doing. You can find our stuff. They've got a Texas Toast line. They've got lines for all kinds of other artists, and it's just really, really cool stuff, all in the name of a good cause. So go check them out.
Yeah, love their stuff. I wear it quite often, especially our Texas Toast line. Have you ever wondered how artists like Treaty Oak Revival, Red Clay Strays, and Aaron Watson maintain the high quality and high demand for their merchandise? CH Lone Star Promo is the answer. Created in Texas to serve Texas artists, and they're currently offering 15% off on all merch orders from musicians. Visit chlonestarpromo.com to get started and tell them Texas Toast sent you.
I was reading the other day that it takes at least $1 million to break an artist. That's a ton of change, and it can feel overwhelming. But with social media leveling the playing field, you just need an effective strategy to release your music. Check out Release Rocket to ensure your single does not die after release day. You've already put time, effort, and tons of money into writing and recording your album. Let the guys at Release Rocket keep your new release alive.
So yeah, going on in the music world, radio is really heating up. But I want to mention that our buddy John Stork is like moved up into the top 10.
Oh, wow.
It's like Casey Donahue held on to number 1 with Oklahoma, but I was seeing like all the radio releases going out this week. So it's that time. We're getting into spring already.
Oh, yeah.
While we're talking about springtime, I'm super excited about something because we talk baseball a lot, and especially Astros. We're huge fans here on the show. So I love watching MLB, especially in the spring. Yes, I watch the spring training games if I have time. So I happened to hit MLB Network the other day, and they were interviewing a young man, and I just looked at the guy, and they were interviewing, and they started talking about music. And his name is Luke Berryhill, and he's actually in the Astros farm system. He's he's in spring training right now, but he's catching for Space Cowboys. But anyway, he's an Astro, and he has a song called Road to the Show. So I want everyone to look that up. I've been listening to it over and over, and I know I was driving Kyle crazy. I kept blowing his phone up. Look at this, look at this. It's Luke Berryhill. But yeah, he's one of our Astros, and he's talented. I
Yeah.
listen to his other songs. They're amazing. But Road to the Show is all about baseball, and he names like legendary players in there, and it's like broken bats and broken bones, and like I'm previewing a new song here. Uh but yeah, seriously, I can't stop talking about it, and I can't stop playing it, and I want everyone to know that he's an Astro, and he sings, and he has other songs. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool, don't you
Yeah.
think? That's
Oh,
freaking
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, it was fascinating. I'm going to reach out to his team and see if we can get him on the podcast here soon, because that'll be pretty crazy just to be able to talk about all the sports stuff, because we talk about it ourselves, but we've never had the opportunity to talk to an athlete on the show. So that would be really, really cool.
I know. That would be like a dream for me to intertwine the music and then especially baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball,
Where
especially.
is he from originally?
I think he's from like Georgia, like the
Oh,
South,
okay.
Georgia, Tennessee, something like that. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
he's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And 2019 Cincinnati Reds 13 overall pick. It's like, me with
Wow.
stats in baseball. But yeah, and and then there was a article that came out on MLB yesterday where actually like his teammates are recognizing this song. Like I think Presley was quoted in it, some of the other
Wow.
manager was quoted in it, and it's like they're like, man, this guy is something else. He can catch and he can sing, and this song is good. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's just not sitting around just piddling around. It's like
right.
it's pro stuff. So y'all check it out. Luke Berryhill,
Road to the
good stuff.
show.
Road to the show.
And talking about new music, there was so much this week. Jake Bush put out another new song today. That's awesome. Carson Jeffrey dropped one that he's been like really, really promoting. Lane Smith dropped another new song, and then also Zach McGinn from Dolly Shine dropped another one leading up to his new album that's coming out. So, and I'm sure I'm missing tons and tons of music. So, all kinds of really, really cool stuff this week.
It's that time to really keep up. And of course, it's not only is it Trent Cowie Day here at the podcast Spirit Day, but it's Go Texan Day in Houston because barbecue cook-off is kicking off and
yeah.
everybody's in their Western. Yeah, it's that time. And there's a lot of our Texas artists, a lot of our friends playing there. So yeah, big time fun. And they're gonna have actually good weather for it, this cook-off. Sometimes,
Man. Oh
it's
God.
and rainy and cold and messy and muddy, and so
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. It's been good weather for the trail rides, getting back in, getting up to Houston. So it's that time already. Let's rodeo in Houston.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it down there this year, especially with the good weather, because I totally skipped out last year specifically because of how miserable my experience was the previous year out at the the main stage, whatever they call that, at the cook-off, and it was just like snowing and terrible. So I'll have to grab my lady and head on down there this year.
Yeah, you should do that. You'll be able to catch a lot of good stuff. And it's like the big stage, there's like great people playing on it. And it was so nice because Nathan from Chase the Night sent me an invitation to their tent where they're playing. But what I want to say is it's like that was so sweet. My schedule's booked up. I don't think we'll make the cook-off because we have friends that have teams there and have tents, and they're
Right.
always like, how many tickets do y'all need this year? And we're just like, we don't even know if we're gonna make it. But it was one of those really encouraging text messages after we discussed the cook-off and possibilities. He was so complimentary and how he learns from our podcast and listens to it. And
No.
it's like those little words of encouragement when I get those, especially from, an artist that is like, wow, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's very encouraging because education is very important in supporting, especially our up and coming Texas artists. And then we've had, some big names on lately, and that's been amazing as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I'm sure you know at this point if you're still listening, but we had Parker McCollum on. We had Mike from Silverado. We've got Josh Abbott coming up this week. We've got John Wolf coming. And then we've got quite a few kind of industry leaning episodes too that I think I'm just going to trickle in as bonus episodes just because we've got so much stuff right now that we need to share with you guys to get a little bit caught up. But yeah, lots of really, really cool stuff. We've been pretty blessed with the schedule lately, but we'll dive back in. We'll get some of the, new up and coming artists on that we want to spotlight and share some more kind of music business sort of things with you guys.
And if I can add, another reason why I love doing this podcast is because the 2 episodes that you're referring to, kind of industry related, those 2 gentlemen have amazing stories of how they got into the Texas music scene. I mean, it's like I was blown away by both of their stories, and that's what I love. Love it.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, we'll wrap it up with some business. Give us a like, give us a 5-star review, a follow, all that good stuff. Share on Facebook, join our Facebook group, Texas Country Fam. What else? I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff you guys can do to support us, but just kind of keep sharing, keep spreading the word, keep telling people. We're still seeing just a steady climb. Once we get to a certain milestone, then this thing's going to explode in a good way. We'll never sell out. We'll stay true to what we're doing, but we want to grow. Sure. We want everybody to hear what we're doing. And, the more shares, the more likes, the more follows we get, the easier it is to get bigger guests, to monetize the podcast and make it easier to do things like the event we're having March 16th. So it all goes a long way. Just keep it up. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.